I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing.
How are you guys? It's Jeff Ware here from BikeReview.com.au. So you may have read my articles and seen my videos on the Pan America, or you may not, but if you haven't, I'll just quickly tell you the difference between the engines. This of course is the Revolution Max T. The Pan America is the Revolution Max, which is the big 160 horsepower banger, and this is about 120 horsepower. They've got the same torque, but this one's 700 RPM further down the rev range. It's also about 30 kilograms lighter. It's got smaller valves, different cam timing, different ignition timing, smaller throttle bodies, and a whole bunch of things like that to make it more responsive, more roadster, and more fun. And I'm telling you, not a lie here, so the first time I chucked it in sport mode this morning, I wound it on and it got to about 4,000 RPM and it just pulled like a bastard, and my hand pulled back on the throttle and I took off, and I was blown away by it. So it's also the first Harley I've ridden in my 20-year career doing this that wheel stands under power. It just traction control off, as soon as it gets to 4.5 grand, it just comes up. It just wheel stands, and a wheel stands and wheel spins at the same time if you have it off. So it's a wild unit, and at the same time, it's tame, placid, and easy to ride. So it's an amazing motor. They've done a great job with the engine. In short, really linear, pulls unbelievably from 4 grand onwards. 6 grand, a bit more of a hit, and then it flattens out where the Pan America keeps going. The gearbox is silky smooth. The clutch is fantastic. As we gave it a workout, you'll see in these drag races here. We did a bunch of those, no clutch problems at all after that. And then we did some crazy laps around here. I was dicing with Stu Woodbury, as usual, me and Stu. The rivalry goes back, and you know, we were getting 170 odd kilometres an hour down here, braking into the corner at the end, and we were getting about 160 down the back. It was pretty incredible, right by Sydney Harbour. Now, out on the road, we did a short road ride, and we did heavy traffic. First of all, surprise, surprise, there was no heat coming off the pipes. The rear cylinder does switch off, but yeah, I'm in normal jeans today. I'm not even wearing motorcycle jeans, and I didn't get any burning. I thought I would. I thought I was going to get a bit of heat issue here, but I didn't, and we sat in some fairly heavy traffic. Low speed balance is really good, so for the beginner riders, if this is your first big bike off your lambs license, we were crawling along at walking speed today for a lot of the time. There was no issues at all, really easy to balance the throttle and clutch. It's quite smooth. I tried rain mode, I tried road mode, sport mode. There's an A and B, I tried them, but I couldn't feel what they'd put in there, the Harley settings. The only thing I noticed, obviously you've got this stylish, very nice, huge front wheel here. It's a 17-inch front wheel with a 160 section tyre on it. Now you do feel that tyre at low speed. You do feel the weight and the profile of it with a little bit of low speed weaving. And I'd say as the tyre wears on the shoulders, you might get a little bit more of that, but it's only at really low speed. And once you get going over 20 kilometres an hour, it handles really well. The steering lightness comes back, and the turn-in's nice. It's nimble, only around the roundabouts. Again, you'll feel the weight of that tyre, but nowhere else. Around here, it was really good. The steering was fantastic. It was accurate. It was great. The braking package, it's got a 320mm rotor on the front and a 260 on the back, Brembo radial mount monoblock front caliper and a Brembo rear. I thought it'd have a bit more initial bite and a bit more feel than it does, but especially being a Brembo system. Now there's positives and negatives there. For the average cruiser rider and person commuting and doing a little bit of running around on this, those brakes will be fine because they're not an intimidating brake package, they're safe and so forth. For a little bit more experienced riders who will want a bit more feel and bite, it might be a pad change or something, because it's not there. They're very powerful, as we found out here doing laps. I mean, you have a lot of braking power there, but it's a very hard squeeze to get that thing stop. And that's just a ratio and a pad material thing. I'd say the Pan America brakes, on the other hand, they're very powerful straight away. It might be that second disc as well. Seating position, I've read and watched all sorts of whinging about this, and I find it unreal. No problems whatsoever. I'm 187 centimetres tall. I wouldn't want the mid-mount pegs. I wouldn't want to spend the extra money on those. I had no issues at all taking weight off my back and my butt over bumps, you know, as long as you can anticipate the bump. Only got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of suspension travel. I got the preload on this is set to halfway exactly. A couple of the guys had it wound up a bit harder and they said it was just too hard there. Yeah, I like having the low seat height. I like the weight of the bike low, so I'm prepared to put up with harsh rear suspension and shocks over bumps for that, because I mean, this is not a bike you would go and ride on bumpy roads anyway. It's a city bike, a fun, smooth road bike. Forks, shower forks, a little bit harsh on the high-speed compression, as in sharp bumps, not as in high speed, as in kilometres an hour. So you feel those shocks a little bit coming through your hands and arms. So I'd probably try and take a little bit of compression out of it and add a little bit of preload on the spring to sit it up on the springs a bit more rather than on the damping. So what that will do for you around, you know, the city and, you know, this kind of concrete stuff with joins, and it'll just soak up those little sharp hits a bit more, because at the moment they come through. It looks a lot better in the flesh than I thought it did in the photos. I really love it. It's modernised. It looks like a modern era Harley, which is a very important thing. I'm really glad they went for these wheels, because they could have tried a conventional size set of tyres and it would have handled perfect straight away. But they've managed to get it handling on these tyres, which gives you the look and the best of both worlds. The dash is fantastic. This little dash, I was playing with it a lot today. It's so simple, say compared to the Pan America TFT. It's just, everything's there in that one little unit. It's really easy to see. The mirrors are great. They're vibe free. And overall, I think the styling and the overall comfort and ergonomics are really good. The rider triangle's good for my height.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Step it up, don't be scared.
Switchgear is fantastic. I'm very familiar with it because I've ridden the Pan America so much, but it'd probably take you an hour or two to get used to this switchgear, that's all. It looks complicated, but it's not at all. Hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like this video if you like it. Tell us about your thoughts on the Harley Sportster S. Do you have one? Are you going to buy one? And you take it easy. Have a top day. See ya.